What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. We are back with another NFL mock draft today. And yeah, a lot of stuff has happened. Clearly, the first mock draft after free agency, so a lot of stuff to talk about. And the biggest news would be the Raiders and Ravens trade being rescinded, and now the Ravens have pick 14 and their first back, but the Raiders also have Max Crosby back now. Let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments. I think it was kind of BS. I think the Ravens realized, oh shit, we can get Trey Hendrickson and keep our picks. Um, Max, you're not healthy again, my friend. You're hurt. You're not healthy enough. Sorry, can't take you. Total BS. I'm calling it right now. That the Ravens, that was kind of something you typically don't do for the sake of the game, but they did it. So oh well, can't talk about it anymore. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into another 2 round NFL mock draft. Starting off with the number 1 pick, we are going to be going Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. No reason to talk about it. Number 2, let's talk about some of the Jets additions. You saw him pick up 2 edge rushers in Kingsley and Nagbari on a 1-year, $10 million deal. Joseph Osai on a 3 for 36. So you might say, are they moving off of edge? In my opinion, no. I mean, those guys are rotation players. I know you paid them like starters. Kinda. I mean, with the edge market now, maybe that is just backup money, which is insane to me. But yeah, this just gives you a four, healthy 4-way group of edge rushers to play around with Arval Reese, Will McDonald, and Agbari, and Osai as well. You brought in brought back, excuse me, Demario Davis, who is now in New York for the first time in what? Well over a decade, so shout out. Minka Fitzpatrick, you brought in for little to nothing, a 7th round pick. Sullivan, what are we doing? Who else did the Jets bring in? They brought in Nashawn Wright on a 1-year, $5 million deal. They traded for Geno Smith, so we'll see if I take Ty Simpson at 16 or 33 or 44. You'll have to watch and see. Who knows? This is on the fly. This isn't pre-recorded. All right, number 3 for the Arizona Cardinals brought in Tyler Algier and Isaac Seumalo. I think those are 2 great additions to the team. And I love Jeremiah Love, but I am very happy the Cardinals clearly are not in the market to take him. I thought that was a dumb pick from the get go. If you're taking a non valuable position, take Sonny Styles where you need the help. That's just my opinion. But the Cardinals still have a massive hole at right tackle. They have another pretty big hole at edge rusher opposite of Josh Sweat because I wouldn't want Baron Browning starting all 17 games. So what do we want to do? How do we think the board is going to fall in the second round? Tackle or edge at 34? Which seems better? For me personally, tackle is probably going to be better. So we're going to go with David Bailey out of Texas Tech as the 3rd overall pick for the Arizona Cardinals. They just need another dominant pass rusher on the outside opposite of Josh Sweat. Bailey is certainly that, needs to develop as a run defender, but we'll worry about that and get that fixed. As of right now, I'm just getting a super productive pass rusher. All right, 4 for the Titans, man. If Jeremiah Love doesn't go here, where can he even go? 7 to the Commanders. Trade up by the Vikings. I don't know if I'm doing trade yet. We'll see if I like some. Um, yeah, but he's going to go here. So we won't have to worry about that. The Titans have been very busy. I think they've done a great job. They brought in Alontae Taylor, Cordell Flott, Josh Williams, all at corner. John Franklin Myers, a awesome signing on the interior that I got right, even to the money, surprisingly. Wan'Dale Robinson they brought in. Mitchell Trubisky as a backup. But yeah, I think they did a lot of good in free agency so far. So to get Jeremiah Love, a absolute game changer on the offense for Cam Ward, chef's kiss to me. Number 5 for the Giants. To me, with bringing back Jermaine Illuminor and bringing in Ardarius Washington, which is your Dane Belton replacement, they've also got Isaiah Likely. They also got Pat Ricard. They were very, very busy. Kevin Byard to the Patriots. Shout out to New England. Just kidding. Fins up around here. But yeah, what do we want to do here? I mean, Sonny Styles makes a lot of sense to pair with a newly linebacker for the Giants, Tremaine Edmonds. But man, Cardinal Tate makes a lot of sense to be that big physical presence on the outside to replace Wan'Dale Robinson, which that wasn't Wan'Dale's role, obviously, but it still is a needed thing in the offense. I think instead I will go Sonny Styles, though. They just desperately do need a second starting linebacker. John Harbaugh, you got to have 2 good linebackers on the field for that defense to run. Here you go with Sonny Styles and Tremaine Edmonds. 6 for the Browns. I've been surprisingly impressed by Cleveland so far. I don't really like what they're doing, but I am very impressed that they are willing to spend so much money on the offensive line to give Shador a real chance. And I can appreciate that. You brought in Elton Jenkins, you brought back Tevin Jenkins, no relation, I don't think. You traded for Titus Howard and extended him. You gave Zion Johnson a big payday. They're 4 players to go along with Jack Conklin. So I feel like all roads point to this being Cardinal Tate because they have done absolutely nothing at wide receiver. I would be really interested to see what the Browns would think to do if Cardinal Tate goes 5. Like, do you take offensive line regardless? Do you take Caleb Downs, who's arguably the best player in the draft? Like, what do you do? I don't think Mekhi Lemon goes that high. I don't think Omar Cooper is going that high. I don't think Jordan Tyson goes that high because of medicals. Like, what will happen? Maybe we'll figure out another time, but here, Cardinal Tate is the pick. Number 7 for the Washington Commanders. They've brought in 2 edge rushers. They brought in Odafe Owe on a huge contract, 4 years, $100 million. So he's clearly a starter. But they also brought in Kayvon Chaisson on a 1 year, I believe, $12 million deal. So he can also start for you. I think they kind of are similar. Like they're probably going to be on the same side of the edge because if you don't know, at least last year for Dan Quinn, the Commanders tended to have one side of their edge room guys like 275 to 290. The other side was like 245 to 260. Chason, I guess, is like 250. Owe is like 255. So I think I want to go get that big edge rusher here for Washington and go with Ruben Bain Jr. to plug and play start on the other side. They need impact players on the defensive line immediately. Ruben Bain is certainly that, so I'm fine with it. Number 8 for the Saints. This board sucks because, like, you would hope Francis Manoa and potentially Monroe Frilling or Spencer Fano are off the board. Unfortunately for you, nobody is. I mean, none of the offensive line, which we're not taking offensive line. Awesome pickup of David Edwards, even Travis Etienne. If you didn't think Jeremiah Love was going to be there, salute to you by paying a running back. Mansour Delane, I think, makes a lot of sense here to replace Alontae Taylor. Like, almost a perfect fit. I think, which I'm not going to do it because y'all would rip me a new one in the comments, but I think Keldrick Falk could potentially go in the top 10 just because he is so young. He's athletic. He's a great run defender and has shown upside as pass rusher. Those guys, to me, typically go high. Michael Williams, Shamar Stewart, and plenty before those guys. Chop Robinson went high because of athleticism with no production. Um, but what do we want to do here? I'm not a big fan of the Mekhi Lemon fit, nor do I think Mekhi Lemon goes in the top 10 just because he doesn't have the top end speed or like height or really athleticism in general. So I don't think that's the choice. You got Jonas Sanker, you got Justin Breed, and I believe you have another safety as well that I'm blanking on. So I'm not going Caleb Downs. To me, the pick that probably makes the most sense if you're not reaching for Keldrick Falk would actually be probably Mansour Delane at 8 to the New Orleans Saints. Keep him in the Bayou, and he is your Alontae Taylor replacement in the secondary. Number 9 for the Chiefs. That kind of sucks. You kind of need Mansour Delane. They've kept Jalen Moore to this point, so would that stop them from taking Francis Manoa? In my opinion, it shouldn't. I don't think Issa Poe or Jalen Moore is your tackle of the future at right tackle. You lost Brian Cook, but then you brought in Alohi Gilman. You still got Jaden Hicks and Shamari Connor. So it's like, I don't think it needs to be safety with Caleb Downs here. Caleb Downs' athleticism, I don't know if it warrants him going this high either. I keep mentioning it. I keep mentioning him, and I don't know if I'll take him, but like Keldrick Falk makes a good bit of sense here to pair with George Karlaftis off the edge. Granted, I have Keldrick Falk ranked like 33 on my big board, so I agree it's high, but he's probably just going to go high, and we need to accept that. Kenyon Sadiq, I think, still makes sense regardless of Kelsey being back on a 1 year deal. He's just such a versatile weapon. I think the player I'm going to end up going with, and y'all let me know how you feel about this guy going in the top 10, it's going to be Jermod McCoy. I'm going to assume the medicals end up checking out at his pro day, and if they do, you can't deny what you saw in 2024. He had some of the most spectacular tape for a corner you will see. He is a true boundary corner. He is a perfect Jalen Watson replacement for you. And I think he's a very good pairing with Christian Fulton and Noah Williams to complete your secondary there. So I'm actually going to take Jermod McCoy. I know the corner depth is pretty good down the board. There's no Jermod McCoy at the peak of their game down the board. So let me know how you feel about that, and we can talk about it in the comments. Number 10 for the Bengals, we're going to go ahead and grab Caleb Downs. Yeah, you brought in Brian Cook, but like Jordan Battles, your other starter in the secondary at safety, you're trying to win a Super Bowl. Granted, you haven't made the playoffs like 3 years in a row now. It's time to start going best player available. Caleb Downs, welcome to Cincinnati. All right, 11 for my Dolphins. I'm going to sprint the card in. Austin Jackson restructured his contract and added like 4 void years. I'm not a fan of that. To me, it should have either been, hey, you take a pay cut or we release you. You have no guaranteed money, no leverage. So adding the void years, I don't like. I'll have to see how much money it is, but not a fan off just hearing those words said. We're going to go for Francis Manoa. I mean, to me, he's by far the best offensive lineman in the class. He's available at 11. I think he could start at right guard for you day one. So insert at right guard to start next to Austin Jackson. 2027, you're the right tackle post Austin Jackson. And hell, Austin Jackson gets hurt every single year. He's got hurt all of the last 3 years. So he'll probably be starting a good amount of games at right tackle. I just want to see them invest in the offensive line to protect Malik Willis. All right, number 12 for the Cowboys. Will you still make a push for Max Crosby? I don't know. You got Rashawn Gary. I would probably try to back out of that trade if I was Dallas. Now that Crosby is back on the table, where do you want to go here? I mean, it's honestly not a great spot because you did address edge and safety. Like, I don't see a world where CJ Allen is the 12th overall pick. I don't really see a world where I didn't mean to click safety because I'm not taking one with Donovan Wilson and Jalen Thompson, who I like a lot. So, like, is it corner? Like, do one of these corners go this high? I have a lot of confidence that, like, 99.9% confidence that one of these guys will be available at 20. So, really, what do you do here? I'd be a fan of taking Spencer Fano and just saying, Terrence Steele, get out of here. You already redid his deal. So, it's like, that's not plausible either. I think with Rashawn Gary's struggles recently, the past couple of years, I don't feel great with him. I'm going to get some versatility on the D line. I know Cowboy fans will hate it. Keldrick Falk is going to go high. Like, I'm starting to think Keldrick Falk's floor might be 15 to the Bucks just because they just lost Logan Hall. And I think that'd be a perfect place for him to land. Dallas needs him too, though. Like, Dallas needs a great run defender to go along with Gary and Ezraku, who Ezraku makes his money as a pass rusher. So yeah, go ahead, take the shot on Keldrick Falk, try to develop him, bet on the ceiling, and then at 20 we'll address corner. 13 for the LA Rams. With paying Jalen Watson and trading for Trent McDuffie and bringing back Cam Curl, I think the writing is on the wall. This is going to be receiver. Which one is the question? Today it's going to be Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. I still think there's a world Tyson's a top 15 pick. I mean, the tape, he's by far the best wide receiver in this class, and I don't think it's relatively close. He can win at every level. He's a true outside receiver, and that's really what sells me for the Rams because the Rams made a strong push to try to trade multiple first round picks to go get Tetairoa McMillan last year. So they clearly value having a big receiver in the offense. Jordan Tyson can be a true dominant boundary winner. So that's the route we are going to go. All right, 14 for the Ravens. Talked about him briefly earlier. To me, it was kind of like an insult to football. I think it's kind of funny. The NBA and NFL, you had two of the biggest, like, unethical things you've ever seen in the sport in the same day with the Ravens rescinding the trade. Then I can't even talk as a diehard Kobe Bryant fan, favorite player and best player ever, in my opinion. I can't even talk about that garbage I watched last night. I'll be here for another 3 hours about how terrible it was. But yeah, what do we want to do here? You signed John Simpson. Like, Vega Ioane, I think, is still on the table because Andrew Voorhees hasn't been great. So it's like, do you go that direction? I don't think I am. I don't think you go edge. I mean, some people are going to hate this pick. I'm actually going Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon, and I'll explain it to you. So before you click off the video, hear me out. You lost Isaiah Likely and Charlie Kohler. The Ravens in general have used two tight ends more than any team in the NFL in recent history with Andrews and Likely, and you've seen them both produce. Mark Andrews is like 30 at this point. I don't care he got extended. He's gonna, I mean, to me, he's already fallen off, and it's just gonna keep going downhill. Kenyon Sadiq is also the polar opposite of Mark Andrews. So it's more like your perfect Isaiah Likely replacement in the offense. And the thing that really sells me on this is who is your new offense coordinator? Where did he come from? The Chicago Bears under Ben Johnson. What did they utilize? Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet. This can be your Colston Loveland in the offense. That's why I go Kenyon Sadiq. And hell, you addressed edge and guard. So it's like I'm not taking a center 14th. Do I want to put Vega at center or Andrew Voorhees or Simpson? Not really. So I'd rather just take a dominant playmaker to help out Lamar Jackson. All right, 15 for the Buccaneers. As you can see, I'm not trading in this mock. Made my mind up at this point. You lost Mike Evans. Shout out to Mike for a great career in Tampa. Best of luck in San Fran. You really need pass rush. Like I once again, I just don't see CJ Allen being a top 15 pick in my opinion. I'm just going to go TJ Parker out of Clemson. It feels like he definitely can still be in the running to be a top 15 pick. So we're going to go ahead and scoop him up here for the Tampa Bay Bucks at 15. 16 for the Jets. You lost both your starting guards and you did not replace them as of right now. So we are going to take Vega Ioane out of Penn State to be a plug and play left or right guard. I don't care what side he starts on. I feel like Tippmann and Myers could start at left guard and center. So Vega would probably be playing right guard, which he has some experience at. 17 for the Lions. This is an interesting debate because I think there's a world where Maui Noah, Fano, and Freeling all go in the top 15. Obviously, the offensive line fell in this mock draft. So, how do we go about this? What do we prefer? You got Larry Borum as like a bridge option. You paid him a decent deal. I think I'm going to take the home run swing on Monroe Freeling. Like he doesn't have the arm length concerns like Spencer Fano coming in at 32 and 1/8. He's a better athlete in my opinion. Great mover in space. He's big. He's strong. Like I definitely see a world where the Lions are like, okay, this guy just needs to develop. Look at Tate Ratledge, Panay Sewell, Frank Ragnow. They can develop offensive line very well. So I'm happy to take the shot here at 17 on the upside. All right, 18 for the Minnesota Vikings. You gutted your whole interior defensive line. No, I do not want to leave. No, no, no. We got another round to do. We're going to go ahead and take the upside on Caleb Banks. Just add a big physical specimen on the interior of the defensive line. I mean, they really don't have that. Jalen Redmond, I believe, is like 290, 295. So to add someone that's 335 pounds, I think would be a awesome plan for the Vikings interior defense line. Then we'll address secondary, probably safety in the second round if Caleb Banks loads. Let's go ahead and give you all a recap of the TikToker and me speaking on the lives where you can't rewind. There we go. Caleb Banks is loaded in. All right, 19 for the Panthers. I can already tell y'all, some of y'all are going to hate this. They addressed middle linebacker Devin Lloyd. They paid Jalen Phillips a hell of a contract. That really surprised me. We're going Spencer Fano out of Utah. And you might say, why are the Panthers taking tackle, you idiot? Ike Ekwonu just had a brutal injury, I believe, against the Rams in the playoffs. I don't know if he's going to play this next season, and I definitely don't think it's for certain. And on the other side, Taylor Moton's, 33 years old? You could cut him after 27 to save $15 million. Mind you, Icky's contract is also up after next year. Spencer Fano has experience at both tackle spots. My plan personally, Fano plays left tackle. Moton plays right tackle in 26. In 27, I'm cutting Moton to save $15 million. I'm moving Fano to right tackle and hopefully bringing back Icky for a cheaper deal since I don't really think he's going to play this year. So that is why I take the value of tackle at 19 with the Carolina Panthers. 20 for the Cowboys. I was talking about hoping that one of the three corners would be available when I took the home run swing on Keldrick Falk. Hell, they're all here. We're going to go with Colton Hood. I really like Deron Bland in the nickel best. Colton Hood is a true boundary corner. I think Colton Hood would fit very well in the Eagles system. So with Christian Parker coming over to the Cowboys, I assume they're going to run a lot of similar stuff. So that's why I take Colton Hood over Avion Terrell and Brandon Cisse to the Dallas Cowboys at 20. All right, 21 for the Steelers. Makai Lemon has fallen. I might do it. Like you traded a late pick for Michael Pittman. You renegotiated the contract to like 19 million a year. That's not bad at all. Like that is a very good move in my opinion. DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman, Makai Lemon. That's a pretty cool trio for your wide receiver room going forward. And I do. I mean, the Steelers have never had a problem with character concerns at the wide receiver position. So I doubt they start caring now, even though it's different staff, but still, it just runs in their blood. So we are going to take the home run swing on Makai Lemon, which it's really not even like a home run. Like Makai Lemon's at least landed on second base. Lemon will be a fringe 1,000 yard receiver probably the next 8 to 10 years. So it's like it's one of the safest picks in the draft at this point. All right, 22 for the Chargers. I would consider Emmanuel Pregnon because, I mean, you still need a left guard pretty bad in Cole Strange at right guard. You paid him as a starter, but that doesn't mean he should be. Interior defensive line could use something along with Tierra Tart and Shamari Caldwell. Obviously, I'm not taking one of the nose tackles, so it would be Peter Woods or Christian Miller. I think I'm going to once again take the upside on Peter Woods. Like, if you get 2023, 2024 Peter Woods, you probably got a top 5 player in the whole draft at 22. So we're going to capitalize off the value and take the interior defensive line monster for Clemson, who I still have a lot of faith in. All right, 23 for the Eagles. The Eagles kind of shocked me by signing Tariq Woolen on that pretty big deal for, I get it's 1 year, but for compensatory pick sake, like that canceled out in the Kobe Dean. So like that probably would have been like a fourth or a fifth round pick in my opinion. Probably a fifth if I had to guess, but that's gone now. I still got Jalen Phillips. That'll get you a third. And what else? Reed Blankenship probably fetch you maybe a fifth or a sixth. But yeah, Kenyon Sadiq isn't here. Offensive line like Caden Proctor, I don't like without Jeff Stoutland here. I think I'm going Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon. Like you just lost Reed Blankenship. There's your replacement. And no, it's not just because they're both white. I promise you. Dylan Thieneman is a baller. He's a pretty consensus top 15, top 20 player to everyone. The Eagles tend to capitalize off value falling and taking advantage of it. So yeah, if you can replace Reed Blankenship here with Dylan Thieneman, A plus in my book. 24 for the Browns. Got Cardinal Tate. I talked about all the stuff you did on the offensive line. Granted, Elton Jenkins is the center. Zion Johnson's a guard. Tevin Jenkins is a guard. Titus Howard is better at guard. Jack Conklin probably will be gone after next year. So I still will take a tackle of the future in Caden Proctor. DeJuan Jones, that bus to me has left. He can't stay healthy, and it's been that way since his rookie year. So I'm not putting my eggs in that basket anymore. We are going to try to develop Caden Proctor and sit him probably for majority of his first year. But hell, Jack Conklin gets hurt a lot. So maybe he is starting at right tackle a good bit for you. All right, 25 for the Bears. You brought in Kobe Bryant, good signing. You could use C.J. Allen to start at linebacker alongside Edwards. What is his first name? I can't think. I'm blanking. Can't think of it. It's going to bother me. But Edwards at linebacker, the former Eagle linebacker. Can't think of his first name for some reason. But yeah, you could use another starter there. Safety, I don't know if you love Emmanuel McNeil Warren, but you could use another one with newly added Kobe Bryant. You brought in like what's his name, Dominique Robinson, maybe defensive lineman, interior. You brought in Neville Gallimore on a pretty big deal. You could still really use a nose tackle though. So I'm considering you also need a pass rusher, so like Hakeem Mesidor or Zion Young. I'm also considering. I do think I want to replace Tremaine Edmonds, so we are going to go C.J. Allen out of Georgia with this first pick for the Bears to improve the linebacker play with. I gotta look, man. I want to say Ty Edwards, but that just does not feel right at all. Like, what the hell is his first name? TJ Edwards. Fuck. I knew it was a 2-letter word starting with T, but I couldn't get it. But there we go. 26 for the Bills. You brought in DJ Moore. You brought back Connor McGovern. Guard is now a need with David Edwards leaving. You could probably also use another safety linebacker. I think I'm probably just going Akeem Mesidor out of Miami to pair with Greg Russo. Like, you need more edge help. Landon Jackson was, I believe, tore his ACL or his Achilles or something and missed his entire rookie year. Joey Bosa is still a free agent. So nonetheless, unique contributors day one off the edge. Mesidor is certainly that despite the age. All right, 27 for the Niners. I think I go Omar Cooper. Like, I get you signed Mike Evans, but Omar Cooper is literally built to be a San Francisco 49er. So if he's on the board here, I think I just go ahead and take him and pair him with Ricky Pearsall and Mike Evans to get a great wide receiver trio for Brock Purdy because Jawan Jennings still a free agent as of right now during this recording. All right, 28 for the Houston Texans. What do we want to do for the Texans right here at 28? Who did the Texans bring in on the offense line? They brought in Braden Smith. They brought back Trent Brown. Is that it? Brought back Ed Ingram. So what else do you want to? You need a left guard. So maybe Emmanuel Pregnon is the option I go with here. Defensive tackle. You did bring in Logan Hall, but that's like a Denico Autry replacement. Dominique Robinson. Yeah, I think I said that earlier. So like, yeah, you could use a nose tackle. Can McDonald or Lee Hunter fall to 38? I think they can. So I will take Emmanuel Pregnon out of Oregon to be my starting left guard in H-Town next to Ariante Ursery. All right, 29 for the Chiefs. I took Jermod McCoy earlier. Let me know how you feel about that. I would like another playmaker. I really would. But what do we want to go here? Do we want to go Denzel Boston? I mean, you really don't have a player like that. You brought back Tyquan Thornton. You got Xavier Worthy. You got maybe Rasheed Rice. Who knows what's going on there? We did bring in a nose tackle. It's not Tommy. It's Tonga. Kyrus Tonga from the Patriots. So you don't need nose tackle anymore. Do we go with the value of Zion Young and then hope we get a wide receiver at 40 or potentially a tackle at 40? I think to me you do. I mean, I have Zion Young 20 on my big board, so I'm a huge fan of him. I have a mid first grade clearly on Zion Young. The DWI in December, I can look past that. That's the only like instance of him being in trouble I've seen. He's a competitor. He fits the Chiefs' build of edge that they typically like for Spags. So yeah, go ahead and grab him and pair him with Karlaftis. 30 for the Denver Broncos. Broncos have been pretty boring, I feel like, in free agency. Like, what have they done? They brought back their two linebackers, but cut Dre Greenlaw. Don't have one addition out of building, which is just kind of crazy to me. Casey Concepcion is a game changer at wide receiver, but like, is it overkill with already having Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims? Potentially. I think I know the pick. It's going to be Christian Miller out of Georgia. Christian Miller is currently my D tackle two in this class. And yes, that might sound crazy, but he is a dominant pass rusher on the interior. Even though the stats won't reflect it with 0 sacks, really not his fault. He won at like an 18% true win rate last year. And yeah, you need a John Franklin Myers replacement. So if you feel fine at linebacker and think you can wait on wide receiver, I would just take Christian Miller personally. 31 for the Patriots. Patriots have been busy. I mean, they have improved the team a ton. I just talked about Kevin Byard at the beginning. Elijah Vera Tucker was a steal. Romeo Dobbs, I like that deal as well. You brought in Draymond Jones. So really, I mean, fine at safety. Linebacker, you probably don't take here. Wide receiver, you definitely still could. Like it's Romeo Dobbs, Kayshon Boutte, uh, Hop Douglas. I mean, what else? Kyle Williams, Mac Hollins is still there, I guess. Not taking a tight end, obviously. You could take another edge rusher after losing Kayvon Chason. That definitely could be possible to get like a speed guy. Like maybe Cash Sal could sneak in the first round. I don't think so with the arm length problems. I think instead I'll just prepare for the future and go with Blake Miller out of Clemson to be the long term replacement to Morgan Moses at right tackle, and you lost Vidarian Lowe as your swing tackle, backup swing tackle, obviously. So, yeah, maybe Blake Miller can play that role year one, then replace Morgan Moses in 2027. 32 for the Seahawks. It's been eventful. I mean, you lost Kenneth Walker, you lost Kobe Bryant, Tariq Woolen's not really a loss, lost Boye Mafe. So, yeah, a lot has been leaving. You brought back Josh Jobe and Rashid Sheed. I think that's A plus. Manuel McNeil Warren definitely does interest me here. Like that would be a very fun addition to the secondary. Obviously, not going running back. I wouldn't take a guard here, so we're not going to do that. Edge rusher with losing Boye Mafe. I would consider if like Zion Young or Hakeem Mesidor was here. They aren't, so I don't think I'd take any of these guys here. 64 seems like a good spot to look that way potentially. So what do I want to do? Avion Terrell to me, no, he's going to fall to the second round in this one. I just don't think he's a fit with Devin Witherspoon and Nick Eamon. Like I do like the thought of McNeil Warren replacing Kobe Bryant. I also like the thought of Brandon Cisse replacing Tariq Woolen. Corner is more value. We're gonna go with Cisse here out of South Carolina to play Tariq Woolen's role. And yeah, we'll keep it moving. 33 for the Jets. Do we want to even mess around with Ty Simpson? Honestly, I don't think I do. I think I'd rather just keep building up this team and trying to win, which clearly you're trying to do with David Onyemata, Demario Davis, Minka Fitzpatrick, excuse me, Nahshon Wright. Excuse me, damn. Sushi, man. Avion Terrell, I mean, you already got Nahshon Wright's a 1 year cheap deal, so he doesn't factor in. But like Jarvis Brownlee in the nickel, I like. Azaria Thomas was good as a rookie. Brandon Stevens is still there, so it's like Emmanuel McNeil Warren to start next to Minka Fitzpatrick, I think is actually the direction I could go. But Denzel Boston is a perfect fit at wide receiver for the Jets. So we're going to go Denzel Boston here to pair with AD Mitchell and Garrett Wilson, of course. 34 for Cardinals. Man, you got Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett, who's probably the starter. I think Ty Simpson is a really good fit for Mike LaFleur's offense. I mean, I think he fits good in like that West Coast type of offense, obviously coming over from the Rams. So, yeah, we're going to roll the dice on Ty Simpson. I don't know what you're doing at right tackle. I feel like you still have money. Like, go sign Jawan Taylor for a 1 year deal or go pay Rasheed Walker, be the team that pays him, whatever you want to do. Just you can address tackle like that. I do like Ian Osher and Lomu, but I mean, quarterback's obviously way more valuable. So we'll take the shot on Simpson at 34. 35 for the Titans. I hate that Casey Concepcion is falling. That's kind of like what Wandale Robinson's for. So I don't think I'm doing that. I need another pass rusher for Robert Sala's defense that fits the mold. And this might be high to a lot of y'all. It's actually going to be Malachi Lawrence out of UCF. I don't think I could draw up a better Robert Sala pass rusher. He's athletic as hell, maybe the best one off the edge, just a super athlete. He's lengthy, he's powerful. He is in that 250, 255 weight range that Sala tends to like. So now you got Lawrence, Jermaine Johnson, and Femi Oladipo. That's a good trio rotation in my book. All right, 36 for the Raiders. Ian Otshore could make some sense here. Caleb Lomu to kick into left guard could make some sense. That interior defense line sucks. And with Caden McDonald on the board, I think he would have to become the pick, in my opinion, for the Las Vegas Raiders right there to get a nose tackle. 37 for the Giants. Got Sonny Styles, like I was saying, wide receiver. I mean, here is your Wandale Robinson replacement. So it's not that big wide receiver I was considering with Carnell Tate, but it is the Wandale Robinson replacement. Hell, Baltimore really doesn't ever have big receivers. And if they do, they're like old veterans like DeAndre Hopkins. And I feel like who else have they had? They had D Hop. Odell's not really big, but like they just cycle through veterans to be outside bodies. Now you got Concepcion, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, or no, the Giants. You got Malik Neighbors, you got Concepcion, and I guess Darius Slayton still, but Isaiah Likely. 38 for the Texans. I was hoping one of the nose tackles fell, and I'm happy with my decision because Lee Hunter is here. So we will scoop up Lee Hunter to grab that nose tackle for the Texans' interior defense line. 39 for the Browns. I really like the Emmanuel McNeil Warren pick. I think Avion Terrell is just too good to pass up on at this point. I mean, he is phenomenal. Maybe there's some concerns he stays in the nickel. Miles Harden isn't like I don't think even though he played solid last year, I don't think Miles Harden stops you from taking Avion Terrell. And I question is Denzel Boston going to be in Cleveland long term? There's been talks about him getting traded for like the past 2 years. So Martin Emerson is gone now. So it's like it's Tyson Campbell, Ward, and Harden. I think you can definitely add a fourth guy that can potentially take Harden's job in the nickel. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for Cleveland. 40 for the Chiefs. I mean, Jermod McCoy, Zion Young. I hate that Lomu's still here, but I think he can fall. Like, he's a good athlete. He doesn't have a lot of power to his game. He could be better at guard, anyways. Do I just go ahead and take the shot on him, though? Like I said, I'm not moved by the Chiefs' tackles at all. Playmaker, like, I'm not taking Eli Stowers or Claire. I'm not taking Jonah Coleman or Jadarian Price. We got Kenneth Walker, so I'm definitely not doing that. Like, Chris Brazzell could be a fun fit to add that big target. I'm honestly cool with if Rasheed Rice isn't getting suspended. Hopefully, you know that by April, and Xavier Worthy's there, and my boy Jalen Royals, I have faith will break out in his second year, and Tyquan Thornton's back. Like, I think you just got to build up the rest of the team around Mahomes. So, yeah, if Lomu falls, we're going to take the chance and move him to right tackle, and hopefully it works out. I know you could argue why not just Ian Achor at that point, which definitely, I mean, there's a lot of upside to that pick. I just think the Chiefs are trying to get you know what? I think I changed my mind. We're going to undo that and go Iheanacho. I mean, like I said, Jalen Moore is staying for an extra year, so why not take the natural right tackle that gives you a way higher ceiling, in my opinion, at 40? So Lomu continues to fall, but I think it's certainly possible that he could. I wouldn't expect him to stay on the board much longer, though. 41. Like, this could be a pick for Lomu right now because Orlando Brown's long term um, status in Cincinnati is up in the air in my book. I'm not taking anything on the defensive line here. Like, we're not going the big citrus. We already went safety. I guess you could go like a Chris Johnson to double dip in the secondary. I don't think I'm doing that. Edge rusher like Malachi Lawrence probably would have been the name I like. Like, you got Boye Mafe, Miles Murphy. So, yeah, maybe we just look towards the future. He can fill in at a guard spot or a tackle spot. He is just a very, very, very good sixth offensive lineman to have for 2026, while also letting you get off Orlando Brown's contract next year in 2027. 42 for the Saints. Got Mansour Delane. Travis Etienne's in New Orleans, so running back's not a need anymore. I hate to bore Saints fans, but man, Chris Bell was a first round talent before he tore his ACL. He obviously has the familiarity with Tyler Shuck playing at Louisville together. He feels like a perfect boundary, big play threat on the outside that you're missing in your offense. I think it makes way too much sense to pass on him. 43 for my Dolphins. Got France Manoa. It's, I mean, you brought in Josh Uche, which at least that's a body on the edge. You brought back Willie Gay. To me, it's got to be Chris Johnson. With how well he ran at the combine, to me, he should be a borderline first round pick, in my opinion. He's my number 23 player on my big board. So if he's here at 43, me personally, I would sprint the card in. And Maui Noah and Johnson, I would be jumping off the walls during the live during the draft if this was the case. 44 for the Jets. Got Reese, got Ioane, got Boston. I was talking about taking McNeil Warren at 33, so I think you know what I'm going to do here at 44 to pair with Minka Fitzpatrick at the top of Aaron Glenn's defense. 45 for the Ravens. Took Kenyon Sadiq. See, like, this feels like a better spot to where, like, let's grab, like, Jennings Dunker and start him at center to replace Tyler Linderbaum. I think that's way better than moving Vega Ioane or someone, Emmanuel Pregnon or whoever, the center, where they really, to me, have no business playing. Dunker, I think, could project best as a center. So, yeah, we'll grab Dunker here to complete the offensive line. 46 for the Buccaneers. You got TJ Parker. You brought back Kate Otten. That was an interesting choice, in my opinion. You could use, like, I mean, there's not a Logan Hall replacement here unless you're going like Grayson Halton this high or you're going LT Overton this high, which I think you have no business doing. I would instead, as of right now, it's just Alex Anzalone. So I would go Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech to get another starting linebacker that can help you win right now. Obviously, just a turnover machine. Needs to grow in pass coverage. Obviously, you can't change the height profile, but I don't care about that. The dude is a baller. So I can look past that pretty easily, in my opinion. 47 for the Colts. Another team gutted their linebacker core. What have the Colts done? They brought back Alec Pierce. They traded Michael Pittman. They extended Daniel Jones. Arden Key, they added to the edge rotation. Okay. Michael Clemens, they added. So they have made moves on the defensive line and moves that I really do like. So yeah, we need to grab a starting linebacker here. And who probably goes the next highest? I think Jake Golday's versatility to just be anywhere on the field is very intriguing to me, and he is a good athlete despite what the testing numbers at the combine said. So yeah, I'm going to grab Golday here at 47. 48 for the Falcons. You brought in the tribal chief, Tua Tagovailoa. I think Tua is going to excel in Atlanta. I really do. It's the perfect situation for him. I went into deeper on my Dolphins day one off-season review of why I like it. So if you want to check that out, Birch Sports on TikTok. But yeah, I really think it is a good fit. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab myself a D. Alford replacement here for my secondary. And we're going to go Keith Abney II out of Arizona State to be a plug and play starter with AJ Terrell and Mike Hughes. 49 for the Vikings. I was hoping a safety would fall. One definitely did fall. I love AJ Halsey out of LSU. He's my number 35 player on my big board. I think the dude is right in the same boat as like McNeil Warren. I mean, Thienemann's probably like 15, 20 spots higher, but like McNeil Warren, I think is like mid 20s for me. So he can be in that conversation for sure. He's a ball hawk on the top of the defense. He is a hard hitter. He's very compact. Like he doesn't miss tackles. I love AJ Halsey's game. 50 for the Lions. Got Monroe Freeling. What has Detroit done? Like outside of they moved off from Taylor Decker. They brought in Cade Mays, start at center, and traded Juice Scruggs, and they picked up Larry Borum. Pacheco, I think, was a awesome signing for the league minimum, damn near. Tyleek Williams going to start in DJ Reader's role if he's not brought back. You need another edge body, like bad. Like bad. I think we are going to stay in Michigan to get that edge body, and we are going to go Derek Moore, who's a good athlete. He's a true three-down player, good run defender, great pass rusher as well, 12 sacks this past season. So I'm a big fan of Derek Moore, and I like the storyline as well of keeping him in Michigan, like Hutchinson. 51 for the Panthers. Got Spencer Fano. I explained it earlier. Don't like it. Oh, well. Dude, I might double dip on the offense. Like, edge is complete to me. Linebacker, you could use like a Kyle Lewis for the coverage skills and the ability to play in the nickel. I'll keep that in mind. Safety, nothing. Nothing. D'Angelo Pons could be a fun fit in the nickel, like I was just saying for Kyle Lewis. I really like the idea of the D'Angelo Pons upgrade and Charles Smith Wade, and I try to get him in the second round when I can. Like that is a tremendous, and it kind of sticks with the thought of best player available. So yeah, we're gonna go D'Angelo Pons here to finish off the secondary for the Carolina Panthers. 52 for the Packers. Packers traded for Zaire Franklin. They lost Kingsley and Agbari in free agency to the Jets. They lost Romeo Dobbs, which is fine. I don't need a wide receiver to begin with. Don't really need offense line, even if you lose Rasheed Walker, excuse me. Micah Parsons, Van Ness, Baron Sorrell. You could use like a third edge body. You could use the interior body, which I don't know if the value's there. Corner, like you really got to upgrade. I think we're just going to go with Davis and Igbinosun to get a true boundary corner in Green Bay to help out that. Like that, Keyshawn Nixon cannot be starting full time. That's terrible. 53 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Got Makai Lemon. You lost to out in free agency, I think, and you extended Cam Hayward. So I think just grabbing like Chase Basantis to be a plug and play starting left guard is perfectly fine to keep your offensive line good. 54 for the Eagles. Got Dylan Thieneman. I think I'm going to take a shot on one of these tight ends. Goddard is still floating in free agency. Maybe he's back, maybe he's not. Do I want to go with the receiving upside or the overall better tight end? I would go with the overall better tight end, and I think the Eagles would as well. So we'll go Max Clare out of the Ohio State. 55 took Peter Woods. I know exactly who I'm grabbing to be my starting guard here. One of my favorite prospects, Keelan Rutledge, currently in the 40s on my big board. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the whole entire draft. So to get him at 55 is cash money, whether he starts at left guard or right guard. Strange, you probably keep out right guard where McDaniel had him last year. 56 for the Jaguars. It feels to me, Anthony Hill and Josiah Trotter both feel like good Devin Lloyd replacements. I prefer Anthony Hill, so we're going to go Anthony Hill Jr. to replace Devin Lloyd at linebacker. 57 for the Bears took C.J. Allen. Speaking of linebacker, I think you really need more edge help, like pretty bad. You try to throw a couple bodies at the interior D line. Like I would really like a Gabe Akis here to add some size and be really everything you were hoping Deo could be for your edge group. So we are going to go Akis out of Illinois here, who is already a super productive pass rusher to come in and join the group to add a safer floor to the entire group. 58 for the 49ers. Yeah, offensive line's a need. I don't know if the value is there. We'll see what happens with Trent Williams. If he ends up leaving, then yeah, I'll take it in the first two rounds, but he could be back. I really like the idea of getting Raheem Morris a DPR, and the best DPR in the class is Cassius Howe by a mile. So yeah, if we can go ahead and grab him despite the arm length and the run defending concerns, like this is where he should be with Nick Bosa and Michael Williams to cover up for those things. So yeah, let's go ahead and grab Cash Sal, which you got a very good four group as well with Bryce Huff still being there as well. Keep those bodies fresh. 59 for the Texans, got Pregnon, got Lee Hunter. What do I want to do here? Like Caleb Tiernan, long term tackle option. Sign and Reed Blankenship. Messed up my pick. I think Josiah Trotter offers a lot of long term upside to pair with Henry To'oto'o and Alshire. And he's so young and he needs to develop. I think Houston could be a great spot with him, considering their head coach is probably the best defensive head coach in the league up there with Mike McDonald. And he's a former linebacker himself. So that's also nice. 60 for the Bears. Got Allen and Akis. I think I might just stick with defense. I think as safety, I actually like quite a bit with Kobe Bryant would actually be trading Stooks out of Arizona. Jalen Kilgore as well. There's a lot of good safety value. Like you can probably get a solid one at 89. So maybe I just go get a big physical wide receiver to replace DJ Moore, one that can block his butt off. So we're gonna go with Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame. Like I said, true boundary presence. Now you got Fields on one side, Odunze on the other. I almost called them neighbors. Burden in the slot. And then in your blocking situations, I mean, hell, Luther Burden can block too, but like Malachi Fields and Rome are the big bodies out there blocking and doing it at a high level. So I think I like that a lot as well for Chicago. Just offers a very good complementary receiver to me with Odunze and Burden. 61 for the Rams. Got Jordan Tyson. My favorite pick in the second round for the Rams by a mile is Kyle Lewis out of Pittsburgh because everywhere Omar Speights lacks as a player, Kyle Lewis can make up for with his pass coverage skills, and he's just so versatile. You can really play him anywhere on the field. So I think that'd be a great addition to the Rams linebacking room. All right, 62 for the Denver Broncos. Eli Stowers makes a lot of sense. Chris Brazzell can also make some sense potentially here to add a big wide receiver. Stowers is just like everything I think Sean Payton's looking for in a tight end, though. So I got to take Stowers. 63 for the Patriots. You got Blake Miller. This would be a very good K'Lavon Chaisson replacement for your edge room, going Joshua Josephs at this point in the draft. Just he's not big. He's 242 pounds, so he's light for an edge rusher. But he's so damn lengthy, and he's already been so productive for Tennessee. Like, there's a lot of upside to this pick, and Mike Vrabel can unlock this dude. And I mean, he's only going to be used as a DPR with Harold Landry and Draymond Jones. So I think that also is very intriguing to me. 64 to end off this two-round mock draft. You got Brandon Cisse. R. Mason Thomas, denied Dennis Sutton would be fun fits. Maybe you could wait till 96. Jalen Farmer, probably too early. So I do think I probably will address running back since they haven't signed one. Which one do we want to go with to replace Kenneth Walker? I want one with some receiving upside. Jonah Coleman is like power receiving, blocking. Like he's by far my favorite. He doesn't have like that big play speed like Jadarian Price does, though, and I think that might be what Seattle was looking for. But yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the two-round mock draft. Let me know how your team's free agency is going in the comments and how you feel about the Max Crosby situation and just what you're thinking about the NFL currently. And yeah, until next time, peace out, guys.